Hi there, it's Steve here from TIG Integrity. Your transom mounted transducer has been hydrodynamically designed to skim through the water level, true level, spirit level, in order to give the best result of sending that sonar signal and retrieving it, and to not make a mess of the water because it will struggle to read through that turbulence that it's creating. That's probably why you're watching this, because you've got a turbulence issue when the boat is underway. So we don't want this to be angled up, and we don't want this to be angled down when we're traveling. Maybe a slight degree or so, but very, very minimal, because it's designed to run flat and level. So how do we achieve this true level when the boat is underway? You can't see what's going on. If you look over the back of the boat, you can't see that it's level. It's too hard to see, there's too much mess going on. Do you just guess the angle? So there's a few videos on this method, and the guys that use it have got the best results. So here's how we're going to achieve it. I've seen a couple of ways to do this with a torpedo level and some washers, that type of thing. That all works. I'm going to demonstrate another way. It's a little bit less messy, as we've got to remember that the boat is moving in this test, and imagine what's going to happen if you put these washers and that on the side of the boat. So you need to set aside a little bit of time to do your testing. Get the boat out on a relatively calm day. You don't want chop going all over the place. The boat's going to change its angle all the time, so you want to keep a nice angle. I've seen this being demonstrated with the boat sitting stationary in the water. However, your boat probably rides differently when it's got a little bit of speed to it. So when it's sitting idle in the water, it's going to sit differently than when it's got a bit of speed, which is what you're trying to achieve, right? You're trying to get a good sonar picture underway. You're looking for ground, you're trying to find fish. So let's get out in the boat, in the water. So we're going to use imagination with this, because we don't need to take the boat out to demonstrate this situation. So what speed do we run the boat at? Well, that depends on what is your expectation. But a good reasonable start would be between 15 and 20 knots, or 30 to 35 kilometers an hour is a good base to try to get a good read at. And if you already get a good result from that type of speed, and you get out often enough to test it, then push the boundary a little bit and see what you can get by increasing the speed. If read quality deteriorates, then back the speed off and test it again. So you might need someone to help you you might need someone with you if you're testing at a faster speed. It's going to be a little bit difficult testing at a speed with a level and washers. As you can imagine, the washers are going to be going everywhere, rolling around the place. I'm using this inclinometer that I sell through the store. It's cheap and nasty, but it works. Perfect for this application. It's probably not worth buying one of these from us separately, because you've got to add shipping. But if you're buying another product, well, then chucking one of these in, it's not going to be much. As I'm not trying to make big dollars on these, they're just a provider. I'd rather make money on the mount itself. And it's a handy tool to have in the shed for later on. If you want to try and find an angle for something, or help your mate out to try and get a good transducer level for his boat. Once you get good results, you're going to be bragging to everyone, and they're going to want to know how you did it. And you're going to want to be the expert with your brand new tool, as you look pretty good with this thing rocking up to their place. We love that kind of stuff, don't we? Okay, so get out on the water. Imagine we're out there, and imagine now we're doing 15 to 20 knots on a reasonably calm day. So set up your test kit, whether the washer and the level or the tool, on a flat area. The gunnel's a good spot for that, but really anywhere on the boat is fine as long as it's long and flat. So with the torpedo level, you want to lift this until the bubble becomes level, and you do that by adding packers to get that bubble in the center. Okay, we're thereabouts. So you can imagine how difficult that's going to be when you're under speed at 15, 20 knots. That's going to be bouncing everywhere, it's going to fly over the side, and you're gone, and it's all messy. That's why this will be a bit more handier. So place it in the same position on a nice flat surface. So easier with this tool. Sit your tool up there and adjust the knob until you get level with the bubbles right in the center, perfectly in the center. There we go there. Bubbles level. Once the level is achieved, then take note of the angle. So in this case we're like 3 degrees. Or if you're using the packers, keep in mind how many packers you used. We used about 10 there. So we can see there we've got 10 or so packers under there, and the bubble is in the center. Okay, so you've got that, and you can put that away now, and that's it. So you put all that away and go fishing or whatever it is you're doing, but why not just go back home and get it sorted out once and for all time. So get your boat back home on a trailer and park it on a nice level surface. What you're needing to do is duplicate the situation here on the side of the gunnel at home. So we're back home, boat's on the trailer. Let's put the test kit back onto the gunnel as it was before. What we want to do now is put the test kit back on the 3 degrees as we had it when we were out in the boat, and then adjust the jockey wheel to get it back to the level we need it to be. So you might need to use a jack or bits of tackers to get your boat up high enough, or you might need to drop the jockey wheel even lower, so therefore you will need a jack. So just you want to make sure that you're recreating the situation you had out in the water. Okay, so now we have recreated the same situation. Our boat is running at the same angle it was as it was out in the water at 20 knots or whatever it was, whatever speed you took it at. We've now got the boat running at the same angle. All we got to do now is level the transducer. And you know how to do that at the hinge point here. Doesn't matter what transducer it is, everyone will have an angle adjuster. In this one here, it's here, for example. As you can see here, just adjust at the level. And you do that by, in the kit, you get this little vial. It's just so small that it's nice and fits on any transducer you got. Put that on, level your transducer, so that becomes level. Then you'll know that your transducer is running true level when the boat is sitting at the angle it is. In my kit you get the little bubble level that's so small that you can fit it on the transducer and just level that transducer. And with all of our mounting systems, it's very easy to adjust the angle. Unfortunately, with the 1 big kilowatt factory mount, you're going to have to add wedges and play with that, which is a bit of a nightmare, but that's life. But if you want to make it easy on yourself, we have some 1 kilowatt mounts that make it very easy to adjust the angle through these bolts here. So you can check those out on our website if you need to. And that's it. You have the boat in the position that it was when you were running at speed that you chose, and now the transducer is going to be running level, true level, when your boat is at that angle. And that's going to give you the best results you can possibly get. And you're going to minimise the amount of spray that comes off your transducer, and then that will depend on how deep you've got it sitting. This procedure has 100% influence on how well your transducer will perform for you, and should be done before any consideration of an aftermarket product, to try to get what you can out of the factory mounts first before you consider going to that option, because you may achieve it, and a lot of people do. So if you've done this and you still don't have good results, then just get in touch. We sell a lot of aftermarket transom mounted transducer products, so you will need to do that same procedure when you get those products as well. You don't want to keep guessing it and wasting your time guessing it and going in and out every time. It takes too long and you're not getting sick of that. You can see our products at tigintegrity.com.au, and we have solutions for many of the popular transducers. And you'll even find the inclinometer, if I've got them in stock. Bit hard to say, but handy little tool and cheap. If you've got any questions regarding this information or any questions on transducer placement, just get in touch. You can email us on, if you look in the description section of the thing, you'll have the email address. Don't worry, I'm not going to try to mention products. We'll see if we can get a good placement before you have to go to an aftermarket product. If you already get good results from your transducer and you're watching this video, or have anything to add that might help someone else, please make sure to put a constructive comment in the comment section. That'll just help everybody then try to get the best results they can. Okay, thanks for watching.